quick, 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 quick. How much mastery do you have in lettuce? Leave me in the comments how much exact mastery you have in NAHIDA, and let's see who. And today we're going to see in NAHIDA's legendary build and NAHIDA's last legendary build, because from there I don't think it'll change anything else. So as you see, this year is the year of the last legendary buildings. So let's see when you have to go with 1500 master's degree, since there is a team where if you're looking for that amount of masters, when should you go with 700 or 800, and how much do you have? What to get according to the kind of teams you play? Or how much would be the exact mastery to stay calm without having to look for anything else and to meet most teams? When does it go with the set of golden dreams, and when does it go with the memories of the forest? And all secrets so that all the NAHIDAs, both the F2PP and Chero with 4-star weapon, C2 with their weapon reach their full potential, and do the same with your account. So leave a good like, a good benefitability, subscribe, leave a good comment for the algorithm, and remember already from today and from some previous video, number 1. So it's no longer support the channel, it supports the video, and it does. Now it's giving him like, subscribe to the bell and comment on why you will enter a Bendy's draw every day in the videos. I'll show you how to draw them with a very easy app where you put the YouTube link and do the draw with all the people who made all these steps. But as the videos, I record them with enough days in advance, usually 2, 3 or sometimes more in the first video of the Bendy that you already have. That's the shot you're shooting around here on screen. Go see it. Because there couldn't be a winner, because when I'm recording this, I haven't published yet that video, so you can comment on multiverse temporary travel stuff. Do not worry. So go watch that video too, and the set or a comment that says the winner or the winner. That's how you contact me by Discord, link here below Discord as well. That in Discord we will soon exceed 25,000 and go straight to the 30,000. A very big Discord of 30,000 people. Of the biggest Genshin impact speaks Spanish. So I take advantage of it, and that's where you contact me, those who win the Bendy, with proof that you are users, and join you so that you have access to the biggest Discord, or the largest currently, of Genshin impact speaks Spanish, and where you enjoy much. Now yes, the legendary queen of Letuche, and luck with that Bendy. Comment and leave like. Alright, she's a sub DPS support, and yes. You have heard it in Genshin, and the most technical parts of it is an enabler on field. Now I explain what that's all about, but basically it's not a DPS as such, although it may be many seconds in the field giving Vasiquitos and jumps to apply inside, and basically she can mainly play the role of the best within the game that we complements both off-field equipment and the same NAHIDA inside the field applying inside. And very important, when I talked about the teams, you can play in all the variants of teams. For Kinish, and for things related to NATLAN and NAHIDAS, the Queen at Hyper Bloom, in Agrave, and perhaps also in Bloom. Although now the Bloom is a little more in disuse. The Bloom of Nilu. Now, what does it do? Or, the basics in principle do not rise, even if you play in the field, and you don't have to worry because you have a talent that now. I'll explain well that this right here is going to get us 24 extra probability, and these 24 of probability apply to everything, I repeat, to all the damage done by NAHIDA, including the hits of the chicks. For anyone who says, Phil, I play NAHIDA chicks, carry, and do a lot of damage. Well, NAHIDA chick carry with his cheeks included, many of you won't care. It doesn't just have to do with normals. Because each of the 6 basics you do with the Chiak scale, with your elementary ability, and this talent that will give you critical probability and damage inflicted on the pulses of your ability. Elemental and cheeks ticks that are considered pulses of elemental ability do not affect the normal, i.e. NAHIDA doesn't go up in normals. Don't look for odds for normals and that. Even if you play in the field, which I now explain that variant of NAHIDA, you don't have to go up or potential. You will now understand why. Because in a NAHIDA, you don't have to look for 70 of probability like other characters. Now I explain it. The basic doesn't go up even if it's shikes. Now the elementary skill that you see me crowning you. The last of the elementary, but surely when I get books, because I will also crown the elementary ability. What does elementary ability do? Mark the enemies, you know how. Very curious, very nice. quite well developed and programmed by Hoyoverse and the enemies. Mark so much that you can give the normal elemental ability 5 seconds as post for. Mark it more easily. 6 seconds will receive pulses from inside with a cooldown in principle. 2.5 seconds. But then with the ulti you can reduce it to 1.5 seconds for each pulse. When you do some kind of additional reaction blow is to say jump is only going to jump, but you can speed it up by hitting the enemies and making reactions the only thing at least goes. To have now explained the ulti that reduces that cooldown of 2.5, and the cone also go too. Having to hit at least to break this pulse, and this pulse is already a damage that is jumping out of the field. NAHIDA already has asked interesting Atto, the elemental, is a good sub DPS and very well built. Even Tochero can make some ticks between 40 and 50k out of the field that like. You see here, scale also with elementary mastery, and with attack in a higher proportion of mastery. Above the attack, this means with this mixed scaling that you have here means you're going to take much more advantage of the mastery than the attack, with which NAHIDA is not sought attack, and the sub-ult. Attack stats don't bring you as much as masters give you what you should look for. Probability, critical damage, critical elementary mastery, and recharge the substats no attack percentage, and much less flat that you know is much worse your elementary ability last. The enemies last 25 seconds marked, with which sometimes in some rotation until lengthened longer by the enemies will be marked 25 seconds, mainly this. Take advantage if not other teams are usually faster. You know the elementary skill not has more. The ulti there by the way applies inside like a wild mind, as if it were lettuce. Legendary, and basically this application inside with the elemental in such a disproportionate way makes you able to enable all the inside equipment now. The ulti makes the famous dome. This famous giant dome gives the character a huge master's bufo in the field, and grants NAHIDA also bufos in your elementary ability, depending on the 3 elements and according to your pyro, electro, and hydro team, and how many characters there are of these elements in. To win this bufo now, first, the master's bonus on the ulti is very important, and I think, which is this right here. You're actually going to earn 25% of the mastery of the character with the most mastery on the team up to a maximum of 250 master's degree, i.e. it will give 250 master's degree to the character in. But to give those 250, someone on the team has to have 1,000, someone not only NAHIDA but. This could be commented on as well. NAHIDA doesn't have to reach 1,000. Person on the team is a triple master's cookie if we don't get to 1,000 master's degree with you. The second encouraging ascension does not give us the 24 of probability and 80 of year inflicted in the elementary ability, also with what gives us a small flexibility to arrive even if 950 out of the field. And remember this, I'm going to repeat a lot out of the field, but it's recommended to finish to 1,000 and activate everything calmly without depending on others' characters, because there will be teams where you don't play with Kuki. Maybe you play a Gizmo team, but a Gizmo with Kuki, maybe it was a team from Kikingada, and there you have no one with 1,000 master's degree. Maybe you play a team of Fate, and the one with the most master's degree can be but the two of them have a hard time getting to 1,000. Maybe you play different variants where they don't. No one from the team arrives at 1,000, and you want it to be a guide that assures you reaching 1,000. That when team spins, because the idea is that the characters rotate team. If you don't play all their life during 20 years of Genshin, a single team arrives the NAHIDA to 1,000. That more makes the year. Ulti, the cost of ulti is a 50, extremely low, with approximately 25 to 30 of recharging going. To have cousin ulti already advanced the recharge, we speak of her as Kulda 13 seconds. And a half is to say really Kulda, a 6, and Kulda of 13.5 seconds makes NAHIDA adapt to all teams of the game to the 12-second rotation teams that Tignari has 2 teams together with Fischl, if perhaps a serious and pure, and Zhongli who has 12 seconds, Fischl also 15 seconds, teams that there are a lot and are the strongest of the game most used today. Today to the teams of 80 and to the teams of 20 included teams of 22 of already in Maiko since you. And with the cone or 2 hydros it would last 25 now. I explain these bonds so duration and DC. General cooldowns plus the cost of al count are incredibly economical. Let's say in quotation marks, for a team and for the people who play Genshin, as already explained, the talents that literal the hero. Talents tell you it reaches 1,000 master's degree, we end up with the ulti bufos, the bufos. That the ulti givers agite us are if there are pyros in field, 1 or 2 good, but in team 1 or 2 go. To gain 26 or 40% additional damage to your elementary ability. This isn't going to be used much. And really, when you're playing teams with pyro, like there won't be electros for the ulti too. Elemental energy forgiveness, do pulses making a reaction. Aggravation, good speed in this case. With the dendro is not going to be worth so much until we have the cone, because the cone gives us a stack of each of the 3 bufos without having the character, but this is when I explain the base facilities is not very interesting. The pyro bufo, the electro bufo will reduce you the activation time of the pulses to start having a single character 0.445 with IT. Which the pulses were every 2 seconds, and having the characters is going to decrease 0.67, with which the pulses will be every 1.8 approximately, and this can be improved even more. This is very, very good, and this enables you to apply more, to make more reactions, do more pulses, and do more damage. No, there's nothing negative about it, and then if there's water on the computer, if there's a water, it's going to reduce 6 seconds. Zari is going to increase the duration 6 seconds to talent 10 of your ulti, as you are 15 plus 6, 21, and yes, you've got 2 weeds, you're going to increase 9 seconds, 15 plus 9, 24 seconds of your ulti in field, be 25 seconds. Of elemental 25 of ulti in field, this really doesn't give you almost any character. Look, characters of the game give you durations of 15, 18 as much with constellations, but durations 25 is super complicated to see why is so good a tour. Now the kit is this very, very, very extremely simple, and also your special talent is to collect materials from distance. Just by giving them the photo or reading the mind of many NPCs constellations, the cone says regulate the number of characters of specific elementary types in your ulti is counted a water, a pyro, and an electro, i.e. the cone is useful within what fits is not incredibly powerful. I won't recommend just going for the cone, but the cone is useful because on the ground you're already going to be 21 seconds of duration in your ulti, because it will count a hydro. You will have pulses every 2 seconds. Just because he's already going to tell you how to carry electro, and you're going to do 26% more damage with your elementary ability, because it will tell you as if you had a pyro without the need to have a pyro on the team that breaks your reactions is very strong, because most hyper equipment, at least you'll have an electro that is kooky, with which you already activate 2 stacks of the electro, and as comfortable of the history of humanity. Now the C2 has 2 parts, and this you hear me talk a lot of it, and I have commented that it is the best constellation along with Furinas and Sironins of the game, and basically the first part isn't very useful, and it's to fill out for people to finally see a lot of text and say why look is a little more damage, and in the end you convince yourself to throw, but Crackling and Bloom have 20 probability and 100% critical damage, i.e. 1 in 5. Little balls that explode with any reaction is going to do twice as much damage. That's a lot, that's not. I mean, it's ridiculous. I could literally not have put that, and the C2 would be just as strong. And now the second half says the defense of enemies affected by an electro reaction with anyone inside is going to be ignored 30% by the whole team, i.e. the whole team no E. Like Raiden, who ignores 60%, but she alone with the cut. This is 30% of the enemy's half. That Raiden's C2, but for all the damage of the entire team, is a very powerful C2. Then the C3 is. The last one is the elemental, +3. To make bigger pulses should be the last 3. For the bufos, the truth, the C5, the last 3, the C4 according to the enemies that have increased the mastery. NAHIDA, so you can build more NAHIDA damage anyway. You get 1000 masters now. I explain the masters calculation, and the C, it's the first 6 basics you do in field by far. Text okay, but the top 6 basics in field, you're going to make 6 hits. That would be a scale of your elementary ability, and a little bit more damage is to say it's like you're doing 6 basics than none. It was 6 hits of your elementary ability, and they scale with that talent right here, that 1000 of mastery. Gives you 24 probability and 80% critical damage in short. So 6 ago is a carry S. All the 5 stars in the end, because you go into the field and do boom boom 6 basics. Or another elemental, because at 6 seconds you'll have the elemental cooldown again and you get out. You're on the field maybe 7-8 seconds, as you can be perfectly Raiden that. It has in field at about 7 seconds, not so it's a typical G6 carry, but well, C2 is the broken thing of the NAHIDA, but it works perfectly to Chero. Now sets memories or dreams here is very important, because concretely in this character there are many people who have, let's say, adapted their account to how it works and how it will build a jingle when it goes with memories and when it goes with dreams by default. If you don't understand much, if you don't know how to conceptualize what I'm going to explain later, or you don't want to, breaking your head by default will always go memories of the forest memories. The forest is a set. Like a green shadow that's going to reduce resistance within enemies by 35%, and that's going to increase all the damage inside the equipment, both the dendros and the hyper bloom balls of bloom, or to crack further, the damage within both Nahida and Tignari to G and Samo. Green inside is extremely powerful now, and it would take Nahida Golden Dreams to win. More mastery, so when you always carry another inside to activate the consonants within, and that another inside always carry memories of the forest. In my particular case, I have decided to play it like this, because for me, it's more comfortable and concretely if we're going to look at the rest of the inside. It's like, example Baiju, that you already know that many teams of Nahida more Baishu because it carries its construction. Normal with memories of the forest, if we look for example, even if it sounds very rare, Xianglan carries. Memories of the forest, you will say, why the hell that Xianglan memories to see? I have built it, so that I temporarily give this set to Kinish so that my Kinish will do more damage because he's going to need something similar, and in the future we will see how this is solved, but currently goes with Xianglan. And who can best carry the set of memories for Kinnick is Xiangling. But this set is a set I wore in Tignari, so my Tignari goes with memories of good. I was going that now poor Tignari who is here has nothing poor would go with those memories of forest. And finally, because I play KB Bloom, so that people who say KB serves us. I have given them memories, and Nahida carry her with golden dreams. I always carry Nahida with double dendro, with which there's always a memory on the teams, so that's the case in which Nahida may go golden dreams, and you can invest more in damage so that Nahida, as sub DPS, does pulses 50 or 60k, which is what you can do in my case with C2 and quite a construction optimal, and gets to make pulses of 80-90k each pulse out of the field. That is a savage, is what does if in Lin, and when in Lin vaporizes 40k, all the Pyrenates people go crazy. So imagine doing 90k pulses with Nahida now that she's wearing Nahida. This is very interesting, because it can rotate a lot and can carry the triple mastery. You can carry the mastery Dendro Mastery. Or you can wear Dendro Mastery and helmet critical damage on what it's going to depend on you to carry it from a way or another, because again this happens a lot in Genshin. I've seen people just say good. Goes with triple mastery or double mastery with chalice inside. I have come to see double mastery with it. Master chalice and helmet critical damage, that's wrong. That last choice is never wrong. You have double mastery with helmet critical damage as well. People see a guide. See that says, priorities is this and says, so I put it on and you don't know why you do the things that there are. That looking to know what you have to wear, the watch is always going to be mastery. The chalice can be within mastery and the helmet can be critical damage or mastery, as you have to see your mastery. Basically, because we're going to stick to the simple thing for all the Genshin players. Nahida, though it can never be played in the field, giving Vasankitos in different teams mainly, you're going to play it off the field as a support for a Quetching a Chlorind, but an Alhaitham, a Tignari, a Kinish Hyperbloom, and an incredible variant of Dendro equipment. What happens that you have to reach 1000 master's degree being out of the field because of what I explained to you before. Because sometimes another character can get to 1000 master's degree to activate the bonus I said of the field and the dome, but other times not. Then you have to build the characters so that you serve normally to be able to play them on all teams, as is the way to play Nahida in all the teams that I'm not finding here. So let's get 1000 masters out of the field. How easy that is calculated. I have 800 master's degree right now if you have the set of dreams. He'll give you 100 master's degrees, considering that you'll play consonants inside if you don't play consonants within, and Nahida is the only inside wrong because you will have to carry another inside that carry the memories of the forest. But in any case, the dream, if you carry an extra inside apart from Nahida, that it's normal to bring back memories, is going to give you 100 master's degree plus the consonants inside. He's going to give you another in 100 master's degree, with which 800 plus 200,000 masters this set if you take. Carry but with Golden Dreams with Nahida, Fiorina and Baiju that are 3 distinct elements to the Electro if you do not receive 150 of the set, while Nahida receives 100 of the set. That is the calculation this Nahida. Memories in Nahida, and the set of memories at rest. The character without being in the field, without activating. I should add 800 if I had memories to see if I had the consonants. Inside, and in which case add 100 800 plus 100 900, and then in this case as additional variant. I have the gun that the gun if you carry another inside gives you 32 Master Nahida, but if you don't carry, another inside doesn't give you any Master's degree then. I'd stay at 900, 900 would be fine, and we're not. Reaching 1000, not I would recommend reaching 950 at least to activate at least 22, 23 of Ray. Probability and 94 and at least blow those 250 mastery to the character in the field and not stay inner. 220, 230 and that's less, with which that's the calculation you have to try to reach 1000 master's degree. Out of the field if, for example, he had a last example of sacrifice and had no set of what. But the memories of the forest would now have 700, 161, plus 100 of the consonants of between 861 and I would need 139 to reach 1000 because we are making the hypothetical case in the air. That I don't wear this set that more external variants could add up to mastery. Maybe some team with instructor set, but here we note that you are depending on an external character who take the instructor set and you're going to want to rotate different Nahida teams and sometimes play with teams where someone doesn't wear instructor set, so I'd be missing 139 because at least 100 more master's degree to get close to 1000. This calculation is what you're going to do continuously to calculate that Nahida out of the field reaches 1000 master's degree, and then you will know that you have to prioritize here in mastery if you're starting in the game, and by no means get 1000 masters out of the field. You can carry the triple mastery calmly, but this triple mastery only is for very early, very new people who lack many substats and still do not understand the other things, but at least prioritizes getting 1000 masters out of the field than when already you are more advanced and you understand character more, and you know when you will or will not reach 1000 for mastery of the field. The first thing you can stop giving Nahida mastery is the chalice is. Say the bonus chalice damage inside is going to give you more damage in the Nahida itself than wearing a helmet. Critical damage, that's why I explained before carrying master's degree, critical damage is a great error. Is better to carry mastery in the helmet, mastery in the clock, and the chalice of critical damage. That is the chalice critical damage does not exist, the chalice inside that is much better, and when you already reach sufficient mastery, as is my case, that I have explained to you still with the helmet of critical damage, because you're already putting the helmet critical damage to the chalice inside and the master's watch, that the clock always. It's going to be masters, and yet you get to 800, plus 100 of dreams, 900 plus 100 of consonants, 1000. In my case, if I add 32 more of the weapon, I have 1032. I could even lose mastery, and there is no that you have so much mastery outside the field with the Bufos. You put a chalice, in which you still have left all that you put a helmet of probability or damage, is the calculation. I basically recommend you in all cases without turning the whole thing around, without complicated, without rare stories, and without twisting the situation, because there are very punctual teams where maybe some weapon could come to serve, but it's a change you have to make because in a 95% of teams go quiet is the sacrifice, no map mare. Nothing of this weapon, I believe. That I don't have it around here. The weapon that is the Uxifos, you know, is the Uxifos of Kazuda. That it'll be over here on screen, but the Rabunda Star, I think it's called no Rabunda Star. No map mare, no weird story sacrifice, just want me to give you mastery to balance Nahida, so that the rest of Nahida's stats are balanced. It is. The simplest weapon doesn't need to be refined. You don't even use the passive one. You just want one. At level 90, so I can master you, point on some spot team if I can carry a hunter of dragons to snort some carry, but Nahida's rotations don't usually stay the last one before entering with the character to pass the hunter's bufo, but it usually starts soon. She doing elemental ulti, in which case you would lose the hunter's bufo, with which is an alternative that there would be in some build, but it is not recommended and it is not usually used correctly, never read there. Passive hunter, on the other hand, I have also seen this here forget you, because with that A weapon that gives you 55 critical damage is never going to be worth it in exchange for a 62 helmet that are. 7 more and 1 master's item is 187. I mean an artifact in main stat, and this weapon gives you 121, which is more than a master's artifact, with which between this weapon that could sometimes arrive to jump the master's bufo, and sometimes I don't rent much more to have sacrifice. Don't make weird things, don't make weird calculations, don't do the good. Sometimes he got 1,000 masters with the mastery of the symphony weapon, because it is 1 in 3 and 66% of the times you will not have enough mastery neither to activate the probability, nor to activate the Master Bufo character in the field, or to take advantage of any of the NAHIDA forms. In fact, the Bufo attack also would come quite F, because it does not bring him as much as the mastery, so not Symphony does not. Hunter is very dependent on the rung and a very specific situation, the sacrifice, and you stay very calm, and then his weapon is his best weapon, because his weapon gives you 40 more mastery then. The sacrifice, if you carry another inside, gives you 32 more NAHIDA mastery, i.e. 70 and peak mastery. More to NAHIDA herself. And the side will give you 40 master's degree to the whole team to buffet another. Little more to the team to do more damage in my opinion. It is not necessary to heat up by the weapon. It is better to have C2 even Chero. And forget about it with sacrifice, and it works very well. It's not a weapon that's going to totally change gameplay like other characters, but it's their best, obviously. And if you don't have this weapon, the sacrifice, and that's it, and that you have to carry in, well, as we are going to have in all the damage that NAHIDA will do, including the Chi 6A of 24% probability, you have to look between 45 and 50 probability at much here, you see. 47 plus 24, 71. We have very good probability then. Recharge it as I told you before for the cost of 50, and the particles that already generates between 25 and 30 will give you per multi and all the equipment of the game. There is some punctual team with more energy inside because you play with another inside that generates a lot that capable with 115 you can have per multi. But I will always recommend a recharge that it's per multi on all teams, so that you beat the character you play many things present and futures that do not yet exist. Then between 25 and 30 of recharge. Then the mastery is all this calculation that I told you is a complex pay line, always making sure that it was out of the field in 50 are missing. It's okay if you don't get there, but you're missing 100 or 150. 50, 40, or get to that 1,000 point. Very important, because many will say row at first. You said that a team where he goes with 1,500 masters, if friends, if NAHIDA punctually want to take out the take maximum performance on the bloom equipment of Northern NAHIDA, in that case will not do any more damage with it. The pulses, because there's not going to be any electro for NAHIDA to hit spreads out of the field, and that means you don't have to look for any of this NAHIDA when you go on bloom teams. You have to try. Just invest in mastery as crazy, and already because more mastery the blooms than herself. Generate with their dendro applications are going to have more damage, so that the bloom equipment can break all these barriers, build it otherwise with another set otherwise, and take it with all the mad-ass mastery you can get together here. Disclaim the truth that since they haven't put presets in Genshin Impact, the sense that I gave him a button and change between 2 configurations to NAHIDA artifacts does not yet exist, and I hope this exists in the or if you see this video within a year, because it already exists, and you tell me if it'll have already put it. Quality of life, because it is uncomfortable to change the characters from set in summary. I have a Xian, Yung for example, that I break between them are of yesteryear and green shade, because with gaming going better, they are of yesteryear, and with permafrost goes better green shadow, and in permafrost is the dragon hunter is his best alternative to pass the bufo attack Ayaka, and with gaming you prefer the weapon that gives him damage of down his weapon, and it's a headache to have to rotate the whole character building, but I'm curious again if it goes in blue mauve or where you don't care about the damage you want to take it with. A very Buridistic master's degree. And finally, once you have 1,000 out of the field, between 45 and 50 of probability, and between 25-30 of recharge, for they're already all the damage that you can, if you can't do much and stay at 100, 110. It's okay if you get to 150 like me for good, because I'll do more damage out of the field, but it's the last priority. This already complements all the rest. And the teams said it at first, but basically to this day, their strongest team cores could be Hyperlooms with the same new billet. New billet for Ina NAHIDA Kuki is one of their best Hyperlooms of the game for the brute damage in Hibiscus, and the extra damage of Hyper Core Loom. Then we would have the Hyperloom of Sino and Tajiza, which are also a very similar core. Purina NAHIDA Baiju, and here you can play Raiden or Chlorind and instead of otherwise the core. From the Gisa month, the core of the carry dendro that would be Kuki Shinobu Furina Nahida. And instead of Furina, Zo play in the Yonji Yuanis and the dendro carry that can be to the Gisa Tinari and Quinich anything. 3 Quinich from Cone is the best of the 3 today, is a savage what makes Quinich. And then play pure Gravis that now with Shironen are more comfortable because they finally have a healer and would play basically Nahida, official Shironen and the carry Electro that mainly are 15-second rotation cards to enter and exit the field very quickly, which are Chlorind, and Gaching here would not recommend either Raiden or anything else but weird Nahida, mainly to this day. Along with the bloom of neither what would be a Tuorn or another Hydro, and another Dendro or 2 Hydros for that Nahida is the only Dendro on Nahida's teams. So summarized, I don't want to make a video aside because I have realized that the videos of better teams work better with the 80,000 Genshin impact carries, and with supports it is better to specifically explain a build so that the will itself makes the support can do all its work perfectly. So this is that will. So nothing to remind you that you've come to the end, that there's a draw I sold to the day. So comment, like, subscribe with bell. Everything is obviously necessary to then bypass that in video. I will make the draw with an app, putting the link of YouTube of that video for you to see, and that person should contact me by Discord link, here the description community of the biggest Spanish-speaking Discord, and the previous video of what I shot like I haven't posted to the height of being recording this video because I can't do that app thing because the video is not yet public. Nor have you seen it, nor have you given it like, so it would be in the easy, and since you are, as you have not seen, then go to watch the other video. Little more thank you for allow me to raffle a cell a day with you guys. That's pretty complicated. I don't know if this is it. I think only BTech does it, but doesn't make a video a day. He makes a video every 2 days. But thanks to BTech, I was given the idea, and I mentioned it a long time ago that I was going to implement it, and thanks to you for allowing me to really do this madness because it's crazy to give I was selling to the little people a day more. Welcome to the directors here. Description. Take care. A lot to have very good day. Chaito.